Ay, ay, ay. So people are upset, and I kind of want to talk about it. So what happened exactly, right? Well, if you've been keeping up with the updates for Monster Hunter Rise's expansion Sunbreak, the trailer for Monster Hunter Rise Update 2 free update or whatever was just released. And in it, we got a lot of new information. One of which being that layered weapons are coming back to the game. You see, previously, the only way you could layer your weapon is if you created a weapon called a rampage weapon. Most rampage weapons were underwhelming to say the least, and rampage quests were very tedious and long and highly disliked by the community. So whether it was intentional or not, it seems like rampage mechanics were just yeeted out of Sunbreak completely. I don't know if that was by design or if Capcom just got wind of how much people actually disliked the mechanic. Either way, great. Good to see them gone. So this seems like a win-win for everyone, right? With the new title update, we'll be able to layer whatever weapon we want. We won't have to worry about the rampage mechanics. So why are people upset? Well, the controversy comes around what was announced alongside the layered weapons, a new DLC pack that will sell these fancy new weapon skins. You see, previously we've never had layered weapon skins sold to us, so obviously this is new grounds when it comes to monetization. So there are three different arguments/points I want to go over. The first one being that the money that we spend on these DLC packs will go to support the free content we get in the future. Number two is the paywall's only going to be like 10 or 15 bucks. If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't. You'll still get the same Monster Hunter experience. You don't need these premium items. And number three is this is a whole new level of monetization. We haven't been getting free stuff like we used to. They're making us pay for things we used to never pay for. This is really bad, right? So let's go over point number one. I just want to knock this one out right off the bat. The money that we'll spend on DLC packs will support future free content. So I think this point is a little naive. There's no way to know what the money from these DLC packs is gonna go to. Obviously, it's gonna go to the Monster Hunter team and Capcom and enrich them in general. But to say that this is going to, I don't know, support future free content, I think just is not true. If I had to guess, the amount of money they want to use on free content has already been budgeted by now. So I don't think this is going to go to supporting free content. There's no way for us to know where the money's going unless they outright told us. And even if they did, company's gonna company, so we don't even know if they'd be telling the truth. So right off the bat, I don't think the money made from the DLCs is gonna go to any free content. I could be wrong, but there's no way for us to know. Now, the second point I want to go over, it's only going to be like a $10 or $15 paywall. It's no big deal. You don't have to buy it if you don't want to buy it, right? I think this one is kind of a reductive way of looking at things. To be a fan of the Monster Hunter Rise game and be a part of the Monster Hunter Rise community, you have a paywall in front of you, right? It's $60. And if you want to continue your experience with Monster Hunter Rise, that's another $30. At the end of the day, that's a $90 investment. There are people who are in different financial situations than myself or you listening, right? So those people will have different incentives and different abilities to pay for certain things. To me, a $90 video game over a year is no big deal. To other people, that's a really serious investment, That's a lot of money at the end of the day for those people. And then feeling pressured to buy these premium items. Now, I know what you're thinking, like, well, who's pressuring them? The only pressure is on themselves. They don't have to have they don't need the premium items, whatever. But as someone who grew up very poor, I understand the emotion that people have when they look at these premium items and think, God, I really want those. I hate that it's locked behind a paywall, $10 extra next month. I just can't do it. Like, I sympathize with that to an almost spiritual level because I loved video games growing up and was so poor. But I think just waving those feelings away, like I've seen on Twitter, people just kind of like, oh, whatever, well, just don't buy it. They wave those legit emotions away. I think that's reductive. And, there is a part of me that says, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. But at the same time, it does suck that they're just right there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel what people are feeling. Like, I understand that point of view. And when we look at the weapons themselves, these weapons were clearly designed to be wanted. From their more futuristic design, to the sparkle effects that happen when they're unsheathed, to the more drastic stylized difference compared to normal Monster Hunter weapons, you can tell that these weapons had a ton of time, energy put into them. These, quite frankly, were always made to be purchased. Like, there's no part of me that doesn't think these were ever going to be free. Like, these look and feel like premium items, and it just does not surprise me they want to sell these items. They were made to be sold. So I can understand why people feel pressured to buy these items. I mean, it's by design. They are designed to pressure you into wanting to purchase these items. With all of that said, though, you can have a really good Monster Hunter experience just with that initial $60 and then $30 when you can. What we have in Monster Hunter Rise and what we have in Sunbreak is so much content that you don't need these premium items if you can't afford them. There's so much stuff to do. So that's my point of view on that one. I could rant about that for days, but I must move on, right? Now, the last point I want to get to is the idea that this is bad monetization. Who knows what they're going to do next? We never had to pay for stuff like this before. So I think a lot of people are very alarmed by the growing monetization practices of Capcom, and rightfully so. You know, we've had more and more DLC packs than we've ever had before. Lots of layered armors that are hidden behind paywalls. But I think if I were to gauge my concern level right now, for example, let me pull this up, right? This is the Taco Bell sauce meter. I will express how I feel about things through the Taco Bell sauce meter. Diablo being extremely concerned, while Verde is totally cool, it's totally fine, right? I've patented this, trademark, you can't steal it, don't copy paste, fuck you, right? This is my thing, Taco Bell sauce. So I think I'd be at the mild area of concern right now. I'm not necessarily breakfast salsa, because I do think they're pushing what we are willing to accept when it comes to monetization, which I think is bad. Don't do that. Stop pushing us, Capcom. But I'm also not at hot or fire yet. I don't think this is the biggest deal in the world, and I don't think we should be too concerned. We should just keep our eyes out, you know what I mean? Now, once they start selling like essence packs and monster skip tickets and curio coin packs, gotcha weapons and shit like that, you know, like that Monster Hunter Frontier bullshit, once they start doing that, that's when we get concerned, right? That's when we go straight full Diablo sauce, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. My opinion is mild Taco Bell sauce out of 10. So, take that with a grain of Taco Bell sauce. I don't know. Also, I just want to say that I am making this video because I want to hear from you, the commenters. I just got an influx of a bunch of like subscribers, like 45 new subscribers. If that's you, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. But I also want to hear from you. I read all of my comments, so I want to keep this conversation going. I'm just kind of like spitballing what I'm thinking right now, so the video is kind of like not the best put together video in the world, but I don't know. I'm not fully convinced that this is like a terrible thing, but at the same time, I'm kind of nervous about where it could possibly go. And also, I really do deeply feel the people who either don't have that much money or are pretty frugal with their money. Like, I feel their pain. Like, the idea that you have to keep, you know, buying this fucking game after you already bought it once. Like, I get that feeling, you know, especially for people who are not as financially stable as I am. I'm fortunate enough to be able to spend, you know, if these weapons were like $30, you know, if I really wanted them, I could spend that money. But if it means anything to anyone, I'm probably not going to buy these weapons. They're a little too flashy for me personally, but maybe if they did something a little bit less flashy, maybe like Legiacris weapons or whatever, layered skins, like if they did something like that, like monsters that weren't in the game but made their weapons like layered weapons available, that would be cool. At this point, I'm just rambling on, so if you like the video, please leave a like. If you want to see more like this or just whatever I'm going to make in the future, please subscribe. And go check out my back catalog of videos. I've got videos about Monster Hunter lore, I've got gameplay videos of Monster Hunter Frontier, and I've got a podcast, so go check it out. All right, goodbye.